Hello, good evening, and welcome to the 2-0 Football Podcast, coming to you live as we do every week, Wednesday nights. Lately, we've been coming on at 11 o'clock Central. We were hoping to come on a little earlier, but our schedules, unfortunately, don't jive as well as they used to. But we're live, and we're on YouTube, and of course, you can listen to this edition and previous editions of this in the podcast center on iTunes. So thank you very much for joining us. My name is John Jagu. We've got a lot to get to. One of the reasons why we've been able to show is what it is called is what has happened in Columbus since 2002, where every qualifier between the U.S. and Mexico has been won by the U.S. by the 2-0 score. And of course, the thing that happened in Jean-Jules, but we'll jump in full speed ahead into that topic. It's been an interesting week. There's a couple of things that the Mexican team is doing right for a change. A couple of things they're still doing, and we'll get into all of that. It's been a crazy week, as we all know. Let's see if the week will end well for Mexico fans, or if it'll be another kick in the nuts for some other fans. So we'll talk about all that. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, we have an esteemed panel of guests. We have with us in Los Angeles, California, Joel. How are you, sir?
¿Qué huele, John? Doing good.
¿Qué me dices, Joel?
Anxiously waiting the start of the hexagonal.
Yeah. Do you think it's things are gonna? Are you cautiously optimistic, or are you, or do you have do you watch the game with your Chivas glasses?
No. I always look forward to these type of games, like to these big tournaments. Qualifiers finally begin for Mexico. The other round was just warm up.
Yeah, everything was a warm up for this. Yeah.
And but yeah, now we're gonna see what the team is, where they stand.
We're gonna see if homeboy gonna earn his money or not.
Yes, correct.
That's basically. Yeah, exactly. Well, always a pleasure to have you on, Joel, and we will jump into that topic and many other interesting little facets about this game. And of course, we will do so with some other members here in our esteemed panel. We have with us, as always, out in Escondido, California, a gentleman who, until just today, found out that Paris Hilton is a huge. Dan, was that your doing? Did you convince Paris that she follows?
Me and Leo talked to her about the team.
Yeah.
Leo DiCaprio.
And, right. Is he a Santos fan?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big fan.
I did not know that. Yeah. Is he like one of those fans that has like the Jared Borghetti like retro jersey from 1999 that has, what was his number? He was 58, right? Wasn't that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen him wearing a jersey, but this looks like back from pre-Titanic, I think, maybe.
Oh, back when it was cool to be a Santos fan.
When it was still punk rock, exactly. When it was still punk rock to like him. Which is going to be punk rock to like them again once they get relegated. Which I'm kind of coming to grips with the possibility of it.
No, I don't think so, because Veracruz they are terrible, and Veracruz.
Well, not this year. I'm just saying maybe next year. I think it becomes a realistic possibility.
Well, John, Veracruz actually brought back Reynoso, who I think he's been their bombero. The team that is actually seems like they really want to get relegated is Jaguares. Who haven't even.
Right. We actually managed to beat them over the weekend.
Wow. Now there's talk.
So in a 6-pointer, you pulled out the 6 points. That was big.
Yeah, there's talk now that Atlético de Madrid might buy the Jaguares franchise and move it back to San Luis. So there's that.
That's too bad, because that is a really cool place. That would be to me, and this is where I think that the Liga MX kind of misses out a little bit. Like the NFL has like destination games. cities where fans want to go. Like
Yes,
Miami.
San Diego just voted against their stadium.
Did they really?
And convention center.
Did you vote for it? Were you in an area where you could have voted for it?
Yeah, I don't think I voted for it. Yeah, I didn't.
Or you just didn't vote for it?
No. I don't think. I don't. It was funny. I was talking to my wife. I'm like, I don't recall seeing it on the ballot. I'm like, yeah, I don't think we voted for it. I was like, yeah. It's kind of a blur.
Oh, so I think it was just like in whatever the
San
Diego
proper,
County.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, because I'm in North County. We had some other stuff, but yeah.
My point is,
it's interesting.
Is that, you'll watch a game of course they're Cowboy fans everywhere, but you watch a game and then fans will travel to the city.
It's like a Staples Center. Staples Center has the Grammy Museum right there. They got a bunch of shops and restaurants, and that's the new thing where the new stadiums are being built with all that other stuff.
Which is what the Chivas OmniLife El Proyecto Chivas was supposed to have, right, Joel? It was supposed to have all the shops and
museums. Everything
have
top
you been
of the line. No,
have you been?
No, sir, I haven't.
We should go. We should do that. We should we should plan a trip to go to the Jalisco.
Oh, to the Jalisco?
Let's do it with some time, man, and I'm down.
Yeah, I think that would be fun, and then we can go to the Tamalera, see how that
Dos a field trip.
Maybe in February. I'm thinking it.
Joel, I'm gonna have to send you a PM actually.
Yes,
I just thought about something.
If there is,
I just thought.
But if there is a field trip, I think there's already Mexico announced a friendly against Iceland in Las Vegas.
That's right. And I have plenty of Southwest Airlines miles, so I can get there.
Chiquis might sit this one out since it's Sin City.
It's not appropriate, not morally right.
Hey, Chiquis, they serve Dr. Pepper in Sin City too, so you can party down with the rest.
And there's plenty of showers, dude. Just wash it off.
You can always go outside the strip.
I mean, that's funny you mentioned that, Ronnie. Years ago, I was still in the with Barcelona when they were playing for the Champions League. I was in Vegas for a convention, and the only place I could find the game on, because this was back in the day when soccer was still they may have been on ESPN after ESPN2, so just and I had to go to a Fado, 10 miles off the strip, in one of those weird casinos on the highway that they have out in Vegas. It was so depressing. You walk in there, and of course, I don't know what was more depressing: the people that were in there, or me walking in there to watch a soccer game. But yeah, so there's plenty of stuff off the strip there in Vegas as well. Ronnie De Luna, how are you, sir? How's life up in Philadelphia?
Very good, very good.
Yeah, how's the weather up there? Is it I heard it's very mild.
It was raining all day today.
It was raining all day here too. I like rainy day. It was very fitting, I thought, for the. But we need the rain, so we always get rain. Ronnie, your initial Dos a Cero thoughts. Are you optimistic, cautious, or expecting more of the same?
I honestly think that the Mexican team, I think they'll get a point.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think one of the things if we look back at the games that we've played in Columbus. For the most part, it's always been one of those, where, Mexico always had to have possession, and it was just, possession orientated. I think, with Osorio, I think he's going to be a little bit more cautious. And I think, that's not.
You think he's going to do the cat and mouse?
I have a feeling.
The cat and mouse with the boy at the speed that he would have. It would make. The way that, say, when Chivas played América in the Estadio Azteca, if he played like that, I think he would have a real legitimate chance of winning that game.
Yeah, I mean, the only concern that I have is if he is able to convince, what Joel has said, when he quotes that coach, what is it, Menotti?
Yes, Menotti.
Where if he can convince and he can, convince the group of believing in him again, where I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say if you ever really had, the team's confidence, but
Right.
if they're disciplined, the defense, which I still see holes in the defense.
Yeah, well, that's not going to change. It's just a matter of, and again, he's going to send guys back there again that that have played one game together.
Yeah, and
play a 3-man line, throw Rafa in the middle, and put Moreno and pick somebody on the other side, and just let him do it.
Yeah, and like in the past couple months, like the last month, 2 months or so, you've had ex-coaches like La Volpe and Piojo and other coaches, talk about, and although it may seem like they're salty, in many ways, I think they're right as to what Osorio's been trying to, and we've talked about this before a lot. That I think Osorio's what he's trying to do and change the entire makeup of the national team. I think it's great if you do that, but you have to start that, in the 15 in the U15 teams, because I don't want to say that old dogs can't learn new tricks, but we don't have these players for long periods of time. So just
right. Which is what Nestor wanted to do. He wanted every national team, especially the youth ranks, to play the same way, limits as possible. This whole Nestor thing, like Nestor's big plan. I mean, Nestor's plan was very simple. It was play as many international tournaments as possible, and hope that we have the same continuity from, like you said, the U15s all the way through the U20 or U23s, and they're playing the same style, the same like they're in the same, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then if they ever make, then they go off for the close up. But when they come back to the national team, they know, okay, this is how we're going to play. We have a style because we've been playing this since we were 15. There's only 4 of us left, but 4 is plenty on a soccer team. So let's go out and do this.
Yeah. No.
Of course, they fired Nestor, and the plan obviously was shelved.
Yeah.
But that's not hard to do. That plan.
Right.
I mean, it's not like Nestor doesn't have to be there for that to be implemented. It's like the simplest thing,
Yeah.
and it's one of the things that.
Hey, John, let me.
Yes, sir.
Let me interrupt.
I'm rambling. I apologize.
No. Dan, is that you on the TV?
I'm pretty sure that's Joel.
Joel,
What?
put it on mute, dude.
I don't have. What can you guys hear?
Well, it's either him or maybe Fernando or Betha, but it's not me.
What's
Okay.
the background noise? Is it trumpets?
Yeah.
It's like the Chiapas. It's like the Chiapas flute.
Yeah.
Joel,
Yeah,
have
that's
you
those are my neighbors,
preemptively
dude.
gone to Plaza Mexico to celebrate the win?
Those are actually my neighbors.
That's my
dude.
old that's my old neighborhood, John.
Plaza Mexico?
Yeah, man.
Let me try
Actually,
to mute that.
I went to a showing of spicy soccer one time.
Really?
Yes.
When I went to the Chicago game at Soldier of the Gold Cup game in Chicago, and I was walking around and I saw the Picante guys that were doing their hit. Walked by this guy that was I forget what the hell he was doing, but he was freaked out that I walked because I was just walking, outside the stadium, harassing me. I was like, dude, I said, relax. All I'm doing here is walking. I'm walking over to the set. And he looked over, goes, oh, poor guy. But it was very funny in retrospect. But Ronnie, you were saying that the continuity is not there. So, despite that, do you think that Mexico will have the stones to do what has to be done, or do you think he's going to be, or is he going to, like you said, just play for a point?
I think he's gonna. I mean, if I was him, I'd play for the point, because if he doesn't get a point, I think the owners, I think they start looking for another coach, because, like I said, aside from, I mean, the next thing that we really get to do is Copa Confederaciones, which is next year. I just, I don't see Osorio, convincing the fans just with a win in Columbus. I don't. But I think for him to stay, or at least to stay longer, I think he has to get that point in Columbus.
I disagree. I think a convincing win will absolutely sway some people. At the very least, yeah, I think it'll allow him the continuity.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a big deal to pull off a win over there, and if he does it in convincing fashion, for sure it's gonna go a long ways to
you know what though,
forgiving
Dan,
the 7-0.
This U.S. team is being touted as one of the weakest.
It is
touting that.
A lot of the media is, and just knowing how
It's one of the weakest teams in history.
It's like that. It's like
the media is,
It's like in the movie The Wedding Singer. It's like cuckoo's nest. Who's saying that? Everybody. Who's everybody? You don't know anybody. You're only 5 years old.
So you don't think this is one of the weaker squads?
I don't think
John?
it is.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't meticulously examined the squad. I mean, I saw who would be the starting 11, and their starting 11 looks like the same starting 11 that they would have. I don't really care about players 12 through, or 14, whatever it is, through 23, because they ain't gonna play.
But they no longer. They lost Dempsey, who was one of their.
That's my thing, I guess. I think what it does right now is that it lacks an obvious star power, and I know that Pulisic is supposed to be the savior at this point, where he seems to be the most likely guy.
If he scores a goal, then it's gonna be a nightmare for 10 years. You understand that, right?
I think they're gonna shut him down.
Okay.
I think they're gonna make a knowing how
he's gonna get his. You just have
plans
to
his
accept
games
that.
out.
He's gonna get his.
I think the whole game on the field is going to be revolving around making sure he doesn't torch us.
That's going to be Layun's job, probably.
Well, him and somebody else. There's got to be.
He
can't do it alone.
Him and Guardado.
Layun and Guardado are going to have to.
That's it for. And see, that's one thing where I'm kind of hoping that he's open-minded and really does pick the guys that look the best in training, because I definitely have my doubts that Guardado was up to the task.
Maybe it'll be a job for Orbelin.
I was thinking Aquino, because he's fast.
Aquino's not going to play it, and Aquino is terrific defensively. There's no question, but I believe he's hurt.
By Jürgen Damm.
It's very unfortunate. Now, let's not be wet in the bed here. I mean, the U.S. is going to have to contend with a hell of a lot more than just one guy. Because one thing I will say about this list, and it was earlier in previous podcasts, is that it was either going to be what Joel said, the call up of the guys that did the other thing because he wants at least a little continuity, or he's going to have to call up every big gun he's got. And we haven't had. When was the last time that I hate saying when was the last time that Mexico had seen?
I'm guilty of it too, John. I did it a bit ago.
This squad, of this squad, with Vela and Chicharito and Giovanni and his brother and the fast swingers. I mean, this is.
I don't think we've ever seen this call-up. A list that I think everybody's like. Finally,
this is what should have been. This is what should have been in Copa America. I mean, imagine. Of course, the defense would still have been a huge problem, but I mean, at least offensively, you're thinking, hey, we actually may have a chance to to win some games here.
But see, and right now, I think with Salcedo's emergence, I think that can maybe potentially address that issue. Part of it, anyway.
Can we just, Joel, if you wouldn't mind, can we just take a moment and think about the fact that everyone always talks about Rafa, who's going to play with Rafa? Joel, who is going to replace? I'm serious. I'm dead serious, man. Massa was a a solid defender on the national team for 10 good years.
Yeah, he was. He got a bad rap for other reasons, but I mean, we have Salcedo, we have Montes. I think those guys can slot
Now,
in there.
Do you think it would be at some point? I mean, I would like to see Montes and Salcedo, like you said. I would love to see them be the guys as at the Confed Cup and be the guys at the World Cup. So wouldn't it behoove? I guess it was the one guy that should have been on the list. Instead of like Hugo Ayala, who. But Montes is 10 times the defender Hugo Ayala is, and he's only 19. Be going to, I know that Ronnie, you don't like it when guys go to Europe. Montes could go to Real Madrid, Barcelona, the absolute top 5 team potential. And if you have that potential, you've got to go see if you can do it.
Absolutely agree with that. Lucas Ayala not Lucas Ayala, but Hugo Ayala is utter trash and should definitely be off the team.
He's the Kraken.
Nestor Araujo is going to be starting most likely with Hector Moreno in the back. Ayala can see the pitch. So that'll be your little prize.
Okay, I have a question for you, a little round table discussion. What, in your opinion, with not necessarily the talent that is or the players that are on right now, but what would your preferred be for Mexico? Joel.
To think it off, what my preferred what?
What will your preferred formation and style be for the national team?
I keep it simple, yo. 4-4-2. Okay.
And the two in the middle, are they stacked, or are they or are they next to each other?
Well, you know what? I haven't seen a consistent team play, so I don't know who works well with each other at this point.
Okay.
Just because he's done.
But you say 4-4-2.
So much rotations that I don't even know what two players link up the best.
You just don't understand the method, so I knew you just won't understand what works why. You won't be able to see what you.
No, it's not what I understand. We just haven't seen that continuity to say that, this defensive pairing has been the most solid for Mexico.
Yeah, these two guys play great together. So let's not have them play again for the next 6 games.
That's not how the system works. You're not going to see that because you're not supposed to. You're supposed to see a system, not a pair of players that one gets injured, all of a sudden the chemistry is gone. What I'm saying is that,
but because I haven't seen that, I can't.
Well, Fernando, and this is Joel's ideal formation. So let's let him go.
Dream a little. You don't have to be so mean, man. You get on the show and you just start tirando madrazo, man. It's just
I just hear Joel tonterías and I just have to intervene, man.
Dude, enough with
He swings blindly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Unfortunately, I haven't. And it's something we talked about in the past, John, where it's like, you go ask a lot of the fans, and it'll be very difficult if they could tell you what partnerships have been working the best for Mexico.
Right. So you're saying 4-4-2, and you want a style of play where guys know each other, comfortable with each other, and play off each other well.
Correct.
I understand. All right, Dan.
I
watched him for however many years.
I'm basing it on this current crop of players that we have now. I would say that any kind of a 3-back line. Because just to minimize I like the idea of playing with 3 center backs, just to minimize the fact that there are no real good fullbacks. I still think that's the one biggest glaring weakness that the team has, that there's only really one good option there in that position, and he can't play both at the same time anyway.
Okay.
So I would go with
so you like the 5-3-2 or 3-5-2, however it is.
Conservative.
Or what's being rumored of even a 3-4-3 to be on a more aggressive side. I'd be kind of open to that as well.
We just don't have the players for that.
Rumored of even a 3-4-3 to be on a more aggressive side. I'd be kind of open to that as well.
We just don't have the players for that.
Rumored of even a 3-4-3 to be on a more aggressive side. I'd be kind of open to that as well.
Oops, sorry.
Your feedback. The people are complaining.
I was joining the chat, and we have Danielle.
We do have a chat. Oh, it's Daniel. Holy crap. That's hilarious. Hey, Daniel. How's it going? Okay. So we've heard from Joel. We've heard from Dan. Chiquis, what about you? Chiquis, I didn't even introduce you earlier. Good Lord, what a bad host I am. I'm so sorry. Of course, joining us from Kyle, Texas, and Albert. Albert, I'm.
Okay. I think the two center backs. I mean, it'll be a four-man back line, but I saw Univision just had their projected lineup, and I think I liked it. And Tom, I think, agreed with the same. Those sort of like diamond setup up front with Chicharito and Raul Jimenez and Bella and Giovanni, sort of like in a diamond.
Really? So the dream will finally happen.
Yeah, and I think a lot of rumors are coming out that Bella's going to be starting. So I think that might be.
He would be stupid. He would be stupid not to.
Yeah, exactly. If those bring up the offense, playing behind Chicharito and Raul, then they might.
If Bella and Giovanni are called up, they have to play together and they have to start. Because that chemistry that you're talking about, Joel, they're the only offensive players that seem to have it.
And when's the last time we saw them play together?
Wait, who did you say?
Bella and Giovanni.
Oh.
Yeah, and when was the last time we saw them
a year
play
ago
together? Yeah, so it's that's a good pairing that I think a lot of us remember seeing in 2011, just how they tore the U.S. apart, and we figured that was going to be our strike force. And then Bella.
Yeah, because they were like 19. Like 19 at the time. Yeah, so it was like, absolutely. So that's an interesting. So you like that then, Chiquis? What the possible formation that was earlier tonight? That's what you would go with then?
Yeah, I like Giovanni bringing up the ball and generating stuff instead of being a
he has always said that that's his preferred position is to play behind the forward. That's what he likes to do. Let him do it. Could it be that our friend Juan Carlos Osorio is finally throwing, as they say, toda la carne al asador?
And you think about it, if they go with a more of a counterattacking style,
which is what Vela and Giovanni do really well at.
That's going to be really scary for them, man. I mean, that's when I think Gio looks the best, is when he's out and open and he's got space.
Absolutely, and Vela. Yeah, all three of them. Okay, so we move on, and we'll go. Fernando, thank you for joining us. Fernando Regino joining us from Arizona. The question posed, sir, is what out of your in your experience of watching and the way you think about it and what you've seen, what do you think would be Mexico's preferred formation, and then how would you play it?
Well, I will go with the same system that Osorio has been using, una línea de atrás de tres. Mm-hmm. And because if you look at the history, that system, it's not really who pairs well or who plays well with who, which player is whatever is going through a good
and we're talking about
the
history of the past year.
Yes, it's really just the system, how it's working. And so far, from all these games, he only lost one game. That right there should tell you that the system's doing very well, and I think he should just stick to the plan. And iba a jugar igual, and put the best lineup
Stay the
out there.
course.
Yes, sir.
1,000 points tonight. Okay.
I really think that Osorio has a lot of variantes. You know, he should send Giovanni to the stands and just put like a, you know, Tecatito, Chicharito, and I forgot his name. His name escapes me. Raul Jimenez up top.
Well, Jimenez is just coming back from an injury, so he ain't gonna start. But he is.
He should start over
You
Giovanni.
know, he's definitely.
Sure.
But he didn't play that position. So why would he start over Giovanni? He plays Chicharito's position. He'll come in for Chicharito about, you know, or for somebody else, for Vela probably, depending on what they need.
Osorio played. Well, Vela's a great option, but Jimenez played along with Chicharito in the field before under Osorio. So I think he can make it happen again.
So that is your ideal plan. Okay, well, I understand. We'll. Ronnie, you've been watching the Mexico since the '90s, so maybe the late '80s. What everything you've seen in your mind say, well, you know, this is when they play the best. It's when they do this. What is?
By the way, I wanted to reiterate that I think they should give up possession of the ball, make the USA come and attack them.
Okay. Duly noted. We'll write that on the board. As you said before, you were interrupted.
I like the 4-4-1-1. Not that's having the two forwards. Not well, yeah. I mean that even goes back. That even goes back to
or the La Puente.
Yeah, La Puente. That even goes back to La Puente and stuff like that. You know, and that stuff where you don't really have two center forwards. You just have one, and then you have the one sitting back. I mean, really. I mean, you know, the way La Puente used the team in the '99 Confederations Cup, where basically, you know, you had Blanco, who had carte blanche, you know, being able to go from one side of the field to the other side, and assisting. You know, the center forward. I just like the balance. You know, the balance of it. If you know, you can always talk about going like a 4-3-3 or stuff like that, but I think that you should be balanced both on the offense and on the defense. And honestly, I think the best team that I've ever seen. With the 4-4-2 and obviously with its variants and stuff like that, I think that the best team that I ever saw with the 4-4-2 was the Boca Juniors of Bianchi in the early 2000s. They were a machine, and they kept it simple. They kept it really simple. I mean, teams that I recalled that were just like it's like Clockwork Orange. You knew it was coming, and just the teams couldn't stop it. It was the Ajax team from what 93, 94, 95.
Right. I remember that. Yeah, they were terrific.
Yeah, they were very terrific. I mean, it was just like clockwork. You also had the Boca, and obviously, you know, with the tiki taka of Barcelona, but they were more of a 4-3-3. But I still liked the 4-4-2. And obviously, you could go like the 4-1-1-1 or just change it up a little, but it was still that back line of four.
You know, I've always thought that kind of like Joel and Dan, well, not Joel, but I guess Dan, where having the three defenders and then, well, thank you very much, and the three mids and the two forwards. To me, I always it's the La Volpe, the fight. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I think that's the formation that is at least seems to fit Mexico the best. I think that they play their best soccer out of that.
The one formation that I haven't really liked at all is the 4-3-3.
I don't. Yeah, you have to have some really talented wingers like Mark Overmar's talent to run that.
Yeah, I mean, you had to have
or Dennis Bergkamp. You know, that then the 4-3-3 is amazing. But if you don't have guys like that, then it's just a slog. It's tough.
It just seems like that it looks really sexy on paper, seeing three forwards, especially with the players that are available right now. But it seems like it's impossible. The midfield's never able to get him the ball.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that, Dan, because although on paper it wasn't a 4-3-3, actually on the way they played it, it was a 4-3. It was a 4-3-3. And I thought they were just a fantastic team, you know, for that one, you know, 2 years. America under Carrillo, when they went like 30-something games without losing, and you know they won the championship. You had Clever, you had Piojo, and you had and Cuauhtemoc Blanco up in the attack, and they did it. I mean, Jesus, they were offensive too. They really did a damn good job playing it. So I mean, but the thing is, if you have a good team, it really can be a sexy, you know, team, you know. But you have to have that chemistry, and you have to have the players to do it. Oh God, that's fucking song.
I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
Throw your train of thought there. Well, it's interesting how everybody has a different, almost a different opinion. It's
Caller.
We have a caller. Is that what that noise was?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Tomas.
Hey, Tomas. How's it going? You doing all right?
Doing all right.
You live in Chicago, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you going to go to Columbus?
I've been listening. I haven't had the time to call, but I had a little bit of time to call today, especially before the eve of the big game. And keep it short. Kind of negative, unfortunately. I don't think that the game's going to turn out too well for Mexico. I kind of have it played out in my mind that the Mexican players are out to sabotage Osorio. I don't think they like Osorio, and I don't think they're playing very hard for him, and I don't think they're going to try very, very hard to play well. And I think it's going to show on the field, and I can see the USA winning 2-1, 2-0.
So they're going to go in the tank to get rid of him?
What's that?
They're going to go in the tank to get rid of him?
I mean, I can't think of one guy like 100% pro besides maybe Marquez, but Marquez is, he's on his way out.
He's just thankful that he got the gig. Yeah, this guy keeps calling me up. I gotta support him.
Well, he got benched last game though.
Well, Tomas, that's an interesting point, and thank you again for calling. I did not announce the fact that you have our number, Tomas, is kind of creepy because I didn't announce it.
I just asked for it on Twitter. Right now.
Okay. It's like, yes, I have your number right here.
Sorry, guys. I'm not the stalky girlfriend type of guy, but I just asked for it on Twitter. I haven't called in a while. I just wanted to again express my negative thoughts. I mean, I hope I'm wrong.
Dropping the cubeta de agua fria on our happy little show here is what you're doing, Tomas. We appreciate it. We appreciate everyone's. So thank you very much for that.
All right, guys. Have a great evening. Hope Mexico wins well. Have a good one.
Later, man.
An interesting point that Tomas brings up, gentlemen, saying that the team is that Osorio has lost the locker room so much. The players were like, dude, we're in Columbus. You're making us go to Panama after this. We're gonna make sure that that the next time we come down for one of these, you ain't gonna be around.
John, that was the reason they brought in a motivator.
Yeah, who'd they bring in? Another Colombian?
I forgot his name, dude. He's some dude that's supposed to tickle them down there and.
Now, as a Chivas fan, I don't necessarily think that you have any basis to complain about motivators or head shrinkers.
No, but
isn't that where Chivas players have to go to get their head straight? Isn't that where they get sent?
I don't know what's going on over there, John. I've disconnected a bit from you. No, I've disconnected. I don't know if you guys saw that John Oliver show on pyramid schemes.
Did you?
And they were.
Did you lose your account to Chivas TV?
I've never had one, but.
Oh, because of the OmniLife, the pyramid scheme, the last week tonight.
Yeah, and they kind of highlighted Herbalife, which is where Vergara got his start. So it's kind of interesting I came to that realization that one of Mexico's most beloved teams is owned by a pyramid scheme company, which is OmniLife.
Yeah, man, but because of that, your team is positioned to become a Copa MX Campeonísimo someday.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Pern. I know you have a man crush on Higuera, but since Vergara took over, he's been bankrupt twice. I wouldn't say bankrupt, but he's been in need of money twice.
Well, is Herbalife still the jersey sponsor for LA Galaxy?
I'm not sure, but I believe they are. But as OmniLife I used to wonder why it was that Angelica had so much stock.
I'm starting to think, Joel, that you have us on the show. I'm surprised you haven't asked us to buy the OmniLife drinks. We've been on the show.
All you need is to convince 5 more people to sell the product.
That's right.
Here we got another one. The man Daniel.
We have another caller, Daniel. Another Daniel Tocayo.
Hi, John.
Tocayo, how are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. I saw your invite on Twitter about your show, and I had to listen, and I had to call in because I got jealous because your buddy called in first.
This is Daniel Forstein. He has a show on Friday nights called Forstein's Fire that I've appeared on occasionally, usually when we talk about Mexico stuff. And Daniel gives me a very solid 15 minutes of talk. So it's good to have you on, Daniel. Daniel is how are things up there, Daniel?
I'm doing all right. Things are fine. I gotta say that I have to say Professor Jagu has taught me very well about what goes on with the Liga MX clubs and the national team. So I'd like to think that whatever he has put in my head, I've learned a lot from him. So I just want to give him kudos for that.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you, Daniel. Daniel, from in our conversations, I've been able to discern that he is a huge Vucetich fan and a huge Oribe Peralta fan.
I am. I love the way Peralta plays. I love his desire. I love his technical ability. He is just such a monster on the ball. And, how can you not love a guy like that? I know Vela is supposed to be in Chicharito and Santos. These guys are great as well. But I just think Oribe Peralta has can I say it? Maybe
he's crafty.
All IQ.
Hey, Daniel. He's also, if you notice, he's so great on his Instagram account. You'll notice he's like one of the most handsomest players on the national team.
They do call him handsome. Handsome.
Well,
so it's not surprising.
Come on, exactly. I mean, come on. I mean, how many guys that plays on how many players on the national team? They always get the hot girls. They play for the national team. They play for El Tri. So why not?
You should see Hector Herrera's wife. Now, Daniel, you're a U.S. fan. What is your how do you see this game and playing out?
How I see it. Look, I saw Juan Carlos Osorio manage the New York Red Bulls, and I cover the New York Red Bulls for the SB Nation sites. So on their soccer sites, the Once the Metro sites. So. I'm expecting him to actually maybe throw out a wrinkle or two. I think he's going to surprise Klinsmann. I think they're going to score a goal. But I think the Eagles are still going to pull it out 2-1. But you know what? I wouldn't be shocked if Osorio he'll probably disrupt what Klinsmann's going to do. It could be a draw as well. They might pull out a point there. You never know. But as of right now, I'm not sleeping on Mexico at all. This will not be 2-0. This could be basically 2-1 or draw, because Osorio is a wild card right now.
He is a caged animal, and he has to do something with it. How's he going to react? Now, Daniel, you obviously follow the U.S. team a little more closely than we do. Joel, was it in the Mexican press saying that this was a weak U.S. team that was called up, or was it in the American papers that were saying that?
No, Mexican press. They call it flojito.
So they said it was
not necessarily weak, but not as strong as other.
Yeah. Is that true, Daniel? Is this a team that you're like, they could be stronger?
They could be stronger. I mean, the truth of the matter is this. Josie Altidore is definitely a streaky striker. Right now he's on a hot streak. Toronto just beat up New York City FC in the semifinals of the Eastern Conference in the MLS Cup playoffs.
Oh, the MLS is still going on?
Fire right now. But, he could be streaky. I mean, he could just either he's got it or he doesn't.
5-0 win. Did Josie score any of those 5 goals, or did he score a handful of them? Or
oh yeah, he scored it. He scored one of the 2 in the first leg at BMO Field, and then at Yankee Stadium he scored another one. I know Giovinco got a hat trick out of that one, but I know Josie got a goal in the second leg as well. But he also scored in the wild card game against the Philadelphia Union at BMO. So, like I said, he's red hot at the right time. But knowing Josie,
which is the exact opposite of Chicharito, who hasn't scored in like 6 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In fact, I can't think of any Mexican player that has any kind of, at least on the goal scoring side, Ayun. I mean, is there really anybody that has been knocking him in lately?
Mm-hmm.
I think the answer there is no. Actually, you're right. Vela, he scored in 2 consecutive weeks. That is as hot. That is as incandescent as it gets for Mexico.
Hey, I got a question for Daniel.
Yeah. Well,
say this.
I mean, Pulisic is the up-and-coming future for the national team. Sasha Kleistin, who finally got his call up with the last 2 matches in the semifinal round. Well, I know anyone and everyone can beat up St. Vincent Grenadines, and of course, him and Pulisic were pretty good coming off the bench in that one. And then he got his goal against Trinidad and Tobago. Sasha. He's coming off of a broken nose against Montreal Impact. I think it was Bernadello or Donadell who gave him an elbow straight to the schnoz. So he had to come off and was off the field for like 12 straight minutes to try and stop the bleeding. And I think they just said had a broken nose in 2 or 3 places. So it's like,
he's a bleeder.
Got to call in the doctor to keep to plug the nose up and everything.
Hey, I got a question for you, Daniel.
Hey, wait. I have another question before.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Fernando, Albert,
speaking of Osorio, since you're a fan of him, and if you listen to this show, most of us on the panel here, either want him gone after this game or haven't liked his play as of late, especially in Copa America. But what did you think of his tactics and system in the Copa America, specifically like the Jamaica game where they barely got through that, and then of course the Chile game?
Well, the Chile game, I have to say that I was very shocked to see Mexico not do well in that one. I mean, against Jamaica, I was very surprised they let them hang around because they were up 1-0, and they should have just destroyed them, and they didn't. So, Osorio had tactics for, I'll say this. Juan Carlos Osorio, as good of a man as he is, and he was a nice guy. I met him again when they did the Copa America Centenario draw at the Hammerstein Ballroom in Manhattan. Very nice man personally, but he can be very, very hard to like because he'll have tactics for matches at home, and then he'll change his tactics for matches on the road. So when he was the manager for the Red Bulls, he would have, I think, like a 4-4-2 at home at Giant Stadium, and then all of a sudden he would go to like a 4-5-1 on the road. So, if he goes 4-4-2 all the way, both at the Azteca and on the road, then, he's cured his own issues. But, he can be very, very, hard to like as a manager when he's doing different tactics, depending on who the opponent's going to be. So, I didn't blame you guys if you want him gone. I don't know. I mean, you know more, and John knows more who might be the next manager if Osorio does get sacked. But, I'll say this right now. He needs to stick with the formation, and he needs to stick with it throughout the Hex. And let's not forget, guys, this is the first time he's managing as a national team manager, not as a club manager. So it all depends on what Klinsmann might throw at him, and at the same time on the roster because that he assembled. So we'll see what happens. But I'll be honest with you. If you're frustrated by Osorio and his tactics, I don't blame you.
Yeah, Mexico's a special type of national team for him to take on.
Hey, Daniel, I have a question real quick. So, do you think that Pulisic is going to go the same way of Freddie Adu?
No, I don't think so. See, here's the thing, and this is a shame about Freddie Adu. Freddie Adu, unfortunately, and you can throw in Juan Agudelo in there as well. The ego sometimes creeps in at the wrong time. I think Pulisic right now, I don't think he has an ego issue. I think right now he's just taking it one day at a time. And sometimes, when you have friends, you're a big-time star as a, big-time player. It doesn't matter what league you're in, what club you play for. I think Freddie Adu's ego and his friends or his entourage not helping him, straighten him out. That has always been also an issue as well. I can tell you that when Juan Agudelo was going through the youth system of the Red Bulls, there have been stories. He's acting too immature for his age. He's got to calm down. He's got to settle himself down. He's got to remember you can't force yourself, into plays and stuff like that. And that's why, unfortunately, it didn't work out.
I do think you're onto something. Because Pulisic did come from, the las reservas from Dortmund, while Agudelo and Freddie Adu came from MLS. So you could have seen it that they were going to be a bust. So I do agree with that. Since if Pulisic can stay,
it's not necessarily they're going to be a bust where they came from. I mean, there's plenty of good
didn't
players
actually
that have come out of
Pulisic. Where did Pulisic originate from, though? He didn't actually start at Dortmund.
I understood he came from their reserves.
Originally from he was born in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So he came through the he was probably in the youth ranks in the AYSO of Hershey, Pennsylvania, probably, and someone saw him play. Probably came over from Dortmund. They watched him play, and they said to him, "Come over," and he did. And it took him a long time just to make it to the senior squad, and he took his time, and look what he's doing now. I know there's other players on Dortmund that are probably either at the same level or maybe a little bit higher, but, Klinsmann saw what he saw and brought him over, and, he's doing a good job so far, and, he's bringing up the ball, he's scoring, he's assisting, he's doing some good things, and, right now, we'll see what happens, but I just have to say that Pulisic so far is doing things the right way.
Yeah, I definitely think he's gonna be on your guys' national team for an awful long time. He's definitely a good talent. Though the one thing that the one thing that you just worry about that is just because we've had a couple of jams that didn't exactly pan out. Just Giovanni and Bella, they didn't quite exactly, develop into the players that we had hoped, I guess. And
and a lot of that has to do with
kind of hope they don't get derailed.
Right. That right where they were right where Pulisic is. They were kind of getting playing time. Like Giovanni played not regularly at Barcelona, but he played enough to where he was playing, once every 2 weeks or so for sure. And Vela was kind of the same way with Arsenal. They both made just baffling, and it took them both. Well, Giovanni more than Vela. What a good. Well, Vela at least a good 2 years to get finally find a spot, and Giovanni it took him 3 or 4 years. So I mean, Giovanni unfortunately missed a lot of the development that he should have had by not playing, and then Vela was kind of the same way. That's kind of where Pulisic is right now. It could be that there's a team for him, and then it could be very tempting, but Pulisic would probably be better off not doing that and just sticking with what he's doing because Dortmund's I'm a big fan of the Bundesliga. I mean, it is fun to watch. They played it here Saturdays and Sundays, and those games, teams that I have no idea who's on them or what their names are, but man, they're entertaining. It is an entertaining league, and it's a great place to watch.
I do agree with that. If our players can,
it is fun to watch. Yeah, I would love it if more Mexican players played in the Bundesliga. I think it would help. It would benefit them tremendously.
So that's why I said that Pulisic has the upper hand. He came through Dortmund and developed there. So I do agree with Daniel's assessment that he might be a little bit different than Freddy Adu bust and Agudelo bust.
I also had a question.
So Daniel,
for my tocayo.
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I'm curious. Jordan Morris has been dropped. Was he just going to be playing a bit part, or is his absence going to be felt?
No, that's an injury. He was dropped because of injury. He suffered I think a slight pull in the hamstring in the playoffs against FC Dallas in the second leg. He was subbed out at halftime. So he's only dropped because of a muscle pull, but that's why they brought over Alan Gordon, because it's more for veteran leadership and stuff like that. But George Morris, this kid has basically just shot himself onto the scene out of nowhere, because when you saw the match against Mexico, the friendly in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome, Klinsmann was at Stanford University, and that's where they're doing World Cup qualifying prepping over there. And you just saw Jordan Morris with the Stanford University team, and all of a sudden, there he is, the first college player to score a goal for the national team, and for the senior side came in as a second half sub, and there he is, and the rest is history.
Hey John,
would he have been a starter? Would he have been a starter then, Daniel, if he would have been match fit?
Come off the bench. I think he would have come off the bench. I don't think he would have started. I think he would have come off the bench because Bobby Wood is also plays in the Bundesliga, so you would have seen Altidore and Bobby Wood up top. You probably will see them both up top starting the match.
Right.
You've probably seen George Morris subbed in.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate the insight that you provide, especially about the Osorio stuff. That was very interesting, and it's always a pleasure to appear on your show. And for you folks that want to listen to a really good podcast, I do recommend that you listen to Daniel's show Friday nights, Forest Sense Fire. Daniel, are you available on iTunes yet?
I'm already on iTunes. I've been on iTunes ever since I was able to put in. So every show is on iTunes. And let me just say, guys, John is a pleasure to work with. You have it so lucky to work with a guy like John. I'm lucky to have John on speed dial whenever I need him.
I'm blushing. You're embarrassing me.
That's right.
Daniel, appreciate it.
Yeah, his face better be red, John, because I'm going to give you all the plaudits you want. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Wow, that's what he said.
Thanks, Daniel.
Hey, we got Sergio from Pancho Villa's Army on the line.
Sergio from Pancho Villa's Army. Sergio, how are you? Are you in Columbus?
No. I'm in Texas, man. We'll probably be out there tomorrow.
Tomorrow. You live in Austin, right?
I do. Best city in the world.
Yeah, I live actually. Chiquis lives over in Kyle, and I live in Lakeway. So good to have you on, man. It's a pleasure. What's on your mind tonight, Sergio?
No, nothing. Just called in to chit chat, say hello. Love what you guys do. So just figured I'd call in and tell everybody that you know, I can't pronounce his name. Poliski, or what's his name? How do you pronounce it?
Pulisic.
Okay, yeah, he's good, dude, but he's no Chofis. So you guys need to like just settle down, because Chofis going to come and dominate the next couple of years.
No,
well, I mean,
are you a TVista? Is that what you're saying?
What's that?
Are you a TVista?
Oh no, I'm not a Chivista, dude. I'm actually an Americanista, but I'm just joking.
Oh wow,
overhyped.
I was ready for it too, man.
Tell us about Pancho Villa's Army's presence in Columbus. What do you guys have planned?
Man, it's gonna be small, unfortunately. But that's the way it goes. We're gonna be there. We're gonna party at Casona's.
Well, hang on a second. Now you're saying small, but it's a 20,000 seat stadium. So is it like small because you didn't have the ability to bring a lot of people, or just a lot of people just aren't showing up?
It's small because we didn't have the ability to bring a lot of people. We did not get a section like we usually do at some of these games, and it is what it is. So we aren't traveling as a group. We probably have about, from what I can tell, just rough estimates, maybe about 100 people. Just from different member groups that are going, that'll link up there somehow, and they won't sit together, but we'll probably all party together at Casona's Grill, have a couple of beers, and then head out to the game.
About 10 years ago, I went to Columbus I was working a college football game there. When Texas went there, and our tradition before we went to do the game was, we'd go have Mexican breakfast, or at some point we'd have a Mexican meal at one of the local Mexican restaurants before the game. And Bouncer and I would go to this place. I can't remember what it was called. It's a long time ago. But he ordered caldo de res, and he got a can of Wolf brand chili that was liquefied in a blender.
I hope it's not the same place, or I hope they shut down, because that's a sin.
That was back when I lived there, so now there's a few. Yeah. So basically, my understanding is they didn't give you guys a section in the stadium, which is sort of, I guess, what they wanted, right? They didn't want you guys to come in and invade and make them look bad.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's about making them look bad. I think it was just about, they want to have a pro-U.S. crowd, and they know that we'd show up. I from talking to people, Mexican fans are buying AO tickets right now. They're buying them at whatever price. I'm seeing some crazy figures out there, $300, $400, $500.
In Columbus, it always ends up being like about a 65-35 or a 60-40 split.
Yeah,
but Mexican fans and US fans.
I think they also have to purchase a crew membership, right? So that, whatever that means. I don't know if that's like.
Well, I'm sure that when you buy the tickets from the ticket agencies, I'm sure that has been priced in.
Yeah, right, exactly. I think that's been priced in. I think like their main resellers that sell Columbus free tickets get like first dibs. AO got like 8,000 tickets, I think. And then some of the travel agencies probably get some as well for those VIP packages that I think didn't sell out. They had some like $4,000 VIP packages to like hang out with the U.S. team and stuff like that. So I think those were left over. In fact, I'm being told that there's like a couple tickets on Ticketmaster on sale that just got dropped about an hour ago. So if anybody wants to, there's some tickets online right now.
Yeah, I did see that earlier on Twitter. That it was actually early today that they had released some tickets on the.
Oh, okay.
And folks could buy them at face value. Excuse me, whatever that is. Now, Sergio, you live here in Austin, but do you have like different factions of Pancho Villa's Army in different cities, or how do you run your organization?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's about 30 chapters U.S. wide, probably about 1,000 members total if you combine them all. So yeah, we have chapters all over the U.S. We get together, do watch parties. The group is just growing and little by little. And one of the coolest things that we've done so far. I think this year is that we traveled to Canada. So it's the first time we've traveled internationally, which was amazing. There's about 200 of us that went to Canada. Great.
Did that not make you sad when Canada didn't make the hex that we weren't going to get to go to Vancouver again?
That was the biggest we had, man. Everybody was like, we want to go back.
Go to San Pedro Sula.
Hey, Sergio, quick question. Were you at that game, Mexico versus Canada, Jamaica?
What's that?
Were you at that game, Mexico versus Jamaica, this summer?
In LA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. My buddy Rich was, the guy from Phoenix. He was at that game.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, because I met a bunch of Villas people there when I was there, and I was wondering if I was trying to remember if I can put a name to that face or a face to that name. Well, I guess you weren't there, so it doesn't matter.
Oh man, if you would have seen me, you would have been like, man, that's a good-looking guy. You know, you would remember me. No.
But not as good as Uribe.
No.
Not as good looking as Uribe for that.
Oh no, that guy's hermoso, dude. You can't top that. But yeah, no, I wasn't at that game, but we did have a lot of people there. I think we had like 600 or something. So yeah, we had a bunch of people at that game.
So the national team announced this week that they're going to play Iceland in Vegas. So that would seem to be a pretty good place to Pancho Villa Pachanga.
Oh man, you have no idea.
February.
In the last 24 hours, tickets are on sale already. We're selling them to people already. I think we've already sold about a third of them. We have about 500, so we have about maybe 350 left. Everybody is ready to go to Las Vegas and just throw down. So we're gonna invade Las Vegas and it'll be a good time.
Are you guys like taking off from here, from Phoenix, like with a bus or something, like all put a bunch of Villa guys, or no? Like
no. Right now we kind of everybody just travels on their own. We're not that. You get a whole bus from each city. But yeah.
Fernando, what do they call that highway between Phoenix and Vegas? Isn't it like the Highway of Death or something like that? And there's some nickname for that road.
Highway. There's the 60. I mean the 95.
But it's like a lot of people die on it. Like oh, you don't want to be on that at night. It's like,
No, I've never been scared when I drove to that. I've done it many times, and I drove it going 90 to 100, and I've been fine. I don't know why stupid people die there.
No, it's not. It wasn't a way. It was actually Mexicanos from Phoenix were like, oh no, that's the Highway of Death. You don't want to be on that. It's like
you're probably mistaking the one La Rumorosa from Mexicali. That's the one I always hear. That's like scary as hell.
Yeah, I will say that PVA is. You guys have announced that you guys are going to Mexico for the Costa Rica game and the U.S. game. I plan to be there for the U.S. game, so I'll hopefully meet up with you guys. Maybe not stay like with your at your hotel and all that, because I got some family I'll probably be with. But that should be a great time.
Right.
And glad to see you guys are, meeting up and doing everything down there in Mexico. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, no, man, we're excited. That's the other thing we're kind of excited about is traveling to Mexico for the first time. So we're gonna hit up Azteca, throw some great parties. In fact, I'll just keep tabs on the information.
Do you think you'll be able to find a Mexican food restaurant in Mexico City?
I heard there's like one or two good ones, so we'll let you know where those are at.
Yeah. Now, Sergio, before we let you go, what is your prediction for the game? Well, actually, I'll ask you two questions. You can answer two ways.
Okay.
What does your heart tell you, and what does your head tell you?
My heart tells me it's going to be 2-0 in the 89th minute. Chicharito's going to get a PK, and he's going to miss it on purpose.
That'll be some sweet revenge.
All right. And what does your head tell you?
My head tells me it's going to be 1-1.
So you think it's going to be a draw? Ronnie said he thought it was going to be a draw too. So we'll put you in the draw category then.
So I have a question for all of you guys.
I don't think the teams will risk it, and if they come out with a 1-1 draw, they'll both be happy and walk away.
No, I don't know about that. I think that obviously Mexico will be happy. Osorio would be thrilled, but the U.S. is going to see that as, hey, we just dropped points at home, and that
would be a terrible result for them.
Terrible result for them.
Sure.
But
I think it would be a terrible result for the U.S., but I think Mexico scores first, and I think the U.S. will fight back and tie it. And
that could have happened in 2009 if I remember. Like in the third minute, Giovanni had a chance, and he kicked it okay, but he kind of miskicked it. And Tim Howard made this incredible reflex save, and who knows how the whole Sven-Goran Eriksson era would have gone had that ball gone into the net.
Well, that was my question that I was going to ask. Do you guys think the draw will save Osorio's job?
Absolutely. I think that we've talked about this many times, and like what's the minimum number of points, and I think that we all agree that two would definitely if he gets 0, he's gone. 1, I think, would be okay as long as it's Panama 1. But 2, I think 2 is an absolute that is definitely his safe place if he can get to 2.
Hey guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. It's midnight, so I'm gonna go head off to bed. But appreciate the time. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Yep. No, thank you, Sergio. We appreciate you hopping on, and we appreciate the work that Pancho Villa's Army's done. It has been tremendous to watch it grow over the past 5 or 6 years. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, I concur, man.
Well, thank you very much. That was Sergio from Pancho Villa's Army, who lives here in Austin, along with Chiquis and I. We live in the greater Austin area, sharing his thoughts on the upcoming soccer match between the U.S. and Mexico. It'll be played in Columbus Friday night, I believe, at 7:00 Central Time. And maybe even be. I think that's right. Well, check your local listings. It'll be on UBC and also on FS1 if you want to watch it.
Starts at 5 here in Arizona.
Well, you're in Arizona. We're taught with this is the only time zone that people care about is the Central Time Zone. That's not true. That's not true. We love all time zones here at the Dos Acero Football Podcast. Well, gentlemen, I think that it's time. Before we the next in our last segment. We have to talk Chivas. I think that it's the only thing that we need to do before we get into the picks, because it looks like they're going to be in the Liguilla. But there was a statistic that out of the 7 teams that are with them in the Liguilla, Chivas has played them all already. And out of those 7 games, they have been able to accumulate.
Just against America?
Yep. Everyone else, not so much. So how does that make you feel, Juan? Is that
well? There is a chance they meet America in the. If
in the quarterfinals?
Yeah, if the standings stay. So, I mean, that'd be good if we could finish giving them their centenary presents.
So you want to give them a nice...
centenary smackdown.
Yeah, it'll be the trifecta. So, but yeah, not surprised, John. Not surprised.
Do you set your self-loathing aside when you watch a Super Clásico? Do you tonight I'm Chivas fan, and you watch the game and you put on your red and white shirt and?
No, actually, I don't wear it. I feel if I wear it, I jinx the team. So I don't. I never wear the jersey.
Let the dog on the America jersey, or
that jersey's long gone, John.
Why, man? The one that has OmniLife on it?
The one that has what?
OmniLife on it?
OmniLife? No.
That was Atlas.
Back to the pyramid scheme, John. That's what we talked about. No, it was really eye-opening seeing that documentary, because Vergara actually... Well, it wasn't documentary, but Vergara actually did work at Herbalife, so that's where he got his, he got his start, he got his idea. So it was pretty, it dawned on me. Chivas is owned by pyramid scheme company. And
why do you care where the money comes from as long as your team has the most expensive team in
but Nalgas, you're not good at paying attention. I already told you they've gone like bankrupt twice.
Okay, and right now doesn't negate the fact that Chivas right now is the most expensive team in Mexico right now.
It doesn't matter if they don't win anything. And
right.
And John, as I was saying, we were talking about this. We've chatted about this before.
They already got a Copa MX. They're winning stuff.
I do think there's possibility Slim might come down. Because the only thing I've seen Higuera do is accumulate even more debt. So I do think this tercera es la vencida, this third time that the team crashes, I don't think Vergara will be able to recover. So.
But what if Chivas beats America in La Liguilla?
That doesn't matter, Per.
Would it save the season for you?
No, it. Look.
Imagine beating them 3 times in a row.
Per. Yeah, it's nice beating America, but if I have to choose between winning a Clásico or a Campeonato, I'll go with the league all the time.
Well, they have a pretty good chance at winning it. But Monterrey might
good chance you did.
Monterrey they're on the outside looking in. They're not even in the zone.
I like how John said that of all the teams going to Liguilla, Chivas has only gotten 3 points, and then Pern says that Chivas has a good chance of winning it. I don't know how.
Well, it goes back to what Chiquis had said after the Clásico. Said they have 3 games coming up, and he says if they get more than 3 points, I would be shocked. And he was dead right. They won the one game they were supposed to win, and they played Toluca and Tigres and lost both.
Yeah, but I'm very curious how Pern, calculates, how he comes to his conclusions.
Well, he talks to the unicorn.
He all logic.
He forgot that Monterrey got eliminated by Uruguay.
Is not eliminated yet.
Árabe Unido.
Árabe Unido also, yeah.
Well, yeah,
Árabe Unido, the first Panamanian team to ever win in Mexico, and the first Panamanian team to, I believe, ever qualify for this new format.
Oh,
and they beat Monterrey twice. They beat them in the Tamalera and at the Rommel.
I think if there is a perfect candidate to win the whole thing, it was Árabe Unido. They have a really good team. A lot of them just play the national team.
You know what I would if Hugo Sanchez was here? You know what he would say to you, Pern?
Vergonzado.
It's just yeah. Just have to stop. So before we jump back into the whole Dos Aceros thing, just one quick note. So there's the league is taking a week off. There's 1 week left. My Pumas are doing their best to miss out on the Liguilla right now. They're hanging on by a thread. They have to go to the blue toilet in Puebla to take on the Franja. Hopefully they'll work it out. But if they make it, the traditionalist that I am when it comes to Liga MX, the teams that are in the tournament. Other than not having Cruz Azul in, nice matchups. Some pretty solid teams. We have other than we have Pachuca, and then there's Tijuana, which is like the new money team. Everybody else are the old guard. It's Necaxa and América and Guadalajara and Tigres and Pumas. It should be a lot of fun.
It could also be the showcase for the candidates to take over the national team. Should Osorio not do
That's
good.
right.
And
when Tigres wins the title, then it'll be Tuca's time to say.
Yeah, we recently had Tuca, and he threw at him saying how with the squad that he had at Tigres, they should be more offensive. And I don't know, Ferretti fired back, calling him Hociconcito. Which and this is the interesting thing. Then they try to bait.
Yeah, end this.
They try to
No le voy a discutir con usted.
They try to get Piojo, to fire back, but he was very diplomatic. And he
He learned his lesson.
Yeah, did he say?
No le voy a discutir con usted.
Or
Y usted no me va a decir qué carajo tengo que hacer.
No, but I do think it's been the whole part of it of where they're grooming him in case they do need him back. So they need him to be less.
They just signed a great big contract to take him to 2020 as the Tigres coach, which but hey, Tuca, take a year and a half off. We'll do the national team thing. Come back in 2018 and you can do your last 2 years with us.
That's a lot of faith in Tuca, man. I like him as a coach, but I think Tigres should have changed a while back.
I agree. I think on some level he's holding them back.
Dare you, sir? How dare you? Tuca like that. The one thing I'll say about Tuca is, he, kind of like the fans and the Rayado fans. Monterrey wins a whole bunch of stuff. They name a street after Vucetich in Monterrey. Tuca's won them two titles. Been there. Incarnation. I mean, and that fan base, they're so starved for championships that that they'll be willing to put up with the less successful seasons as long as, because they hadn't had that in 30 years. I mean, it was a big deal for Tigres to get that championship. When Tuca got it, and he got him another one. It's anywhere.
I would like to see him at Cruz Azul.
He actually, what? That would actually be interesting. Because they're like a sleeping giant. Yeah, they are definitely a sleeping giant. Okay, gentlemen, we got 10 minutes left. Let's jump back into this whole Columbus game. We heard Daniel talking about the guys are going to be playing. Bobby Wood up top with Josie out the door. Bobby Wood's more of a speed guy. Josie is a big forward that can cause some damage. Mexico's back line is not going to be the strongest, especially if it's going to be the guys that Chiqui said were going to be back there. Who was it, Chiquis? Was it Araujo and Moreno?
Yeah, that's what Univision is saying. But I've also heard Alanis is a big guy, isn't he? I've heard his name come up as well.
Well, Saucedo's swole, man.
But he's sort of short, though. I think they're looking for a set-piece defense, like taller guys.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons also where I've read that is Vela has been playing lights out in practice.
Yeah,
and Osorio's thinking that he might have to do Jimenez just because he wants some height, because that's certainly not as much offensively against the U.S. as you do defensively. So when it's probably kind of like Saguinho when he would. You'll remember that game, and was it in the World Cup against Norway? Gigantic forward that Norway had was a guy, the Jostein Flo, who was like 6'8". And they couldn't do anything with him, and they finally made the adjustment in the second half where Saguinho had to cover him on corner kicks to get just anywhere close to headers with him. So, obviously height is going to be a concern for him. So maybe that would bring over.
But John, overall, Mexico's height has improved, and we have a lot of players now that are at 6 feet.
Also, I don't think the U.S. team is all that big. Am I wrong?
No, I mean,
you guys might be right.
Hey, size doesn't matter, man.
Before they would tower over the squad, but you see the majority of players, even Ochoa is 6 feet, Herrera,
Omar
Reyes, Jimenez, all of those guys are at 6 feet or even taller.
And can I just say that for the first time in at least since I've started really paying attention to this stuff, that the FMF finally figured out that when they have these games like this, don't fly the team. Don't fly the players to Mexico City, and then they do two things, and then fly 6 hours to wherever the hell it is that they have to go. Send them to the destination, and then meet them there. Don't make them travel. Only make them travel 10 hours. Don't make them travel 20. So kudos to the FMF for finally figuring that out. Maybe one day they'll charter a plane where they can bring everybody over on the same plane. That way they don't have to. They can just have them all come to the same spot. It would. Why have all that money if you're not going to at least do a little investing in your product? And that is certainly one way, especially if the base of your team is playing over there. Make sure that you have to get them here as fresh as possible.
Well, I think that's a
And
positive.
I cannot believe it took the question. Do you think that was an Osorio decision, or do you think that was a Baños decision? Joel, what do you think?
Who knows? It could have came from anywhere, John. But Televisa had to approve it because, you one of the reasons they go into Mexico City, they could film commercials or make interviews or shoot promos. So they bypass some of that money. They put the result first. So if it did come from Osorio, hey, kudos to him.
And I'll ask you this because I know how you feel about a certain player. Now, we talked about how that Daniel, your tocayo, talked about the is on a hot streak. There's a player on the Mexican national team that's on a hot streak right now too, and that's Marco Fabian. He's had a really good season so far at Frankfurt. Does he play? Does he start, or does he play, or is he going to stay on the bench in this game?
I think it all depends on how he's looking in practice. If we were just basing it on current form, you'd say that he should probably, at minimum, be coming off the bench. I think he's done enough consistently, at least this first part of the season, that it's definitely, he's the engine of that team.
He is, yeah. He really they've kind of given him the opportunity to carry the team a little bit, and he's responding, which is even better.
And clever. I mean, he looked like Demo on one of the plays from over the weekend where he just did it, passed it with his heel.
Oh, yeah. It was beautiful.
It's really cool.
Absolutely beautiful. So you're okay with Fabian, then? You like the way that he's responded?
I'm okay to admit that he's absolutely proven me wrong so far, and I'm happy to be proven wrong.
You humbly accept your wrongfulness.
Well, I'm still skeptical on that. I mean, he still has got to put in a good season to a consistent season to say I'm like, all right, he's definitely now in, because I don't know, he has been known to be streaky, so. But for right now, what he's done, he absolutely deserves it, I think.
Now, Joel, you and Marquito are tight. So, what do you attribute this change in him? In his to the game, is it a change of scenery? Is it perhaps that maybe the libations in Germany are a little more to his liking, and he just kind of likes living there? A combination of a variety of factors, or something else entirely?
Maybe the coach too.
Maybe he's not a beer guy, more of a whiskey guy, and they don't have that much.
No, yeah, it was mental as well, because it affected him right after the Olympics. He was doing really good. There was even that one friendly where Chivas played against Barcelona, and he had a really great match.
A great goal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he was really at the top, and, he thought Chivas was holding him back because they didn't let him, he wanted to go.
Now let me ask you, Joel, as a Chivas fan, when a guy like Marquito starts doing well, do you swell with pride? He came out of the Chivas system.
No, obviously, John, but I guess that messed with him mentally. So I think that's when you saw him being sent out to Cruz Azul, and then he returned, and he was just having a difficult time. But I think that once he was able to go, once he was able to go abroad, he's slowly coming back to where he was at. But I think it was in him. It was just sometimes the mental aspect.
Well, here's something that I know that happened to him with. Is it still Kovac that's the coach over there at Frankfurt, the Croatian guy?
Same one. Yep.
The one that coached.
The one that
okay, so last year,
was
when he comes in, he just exactly. He just totally broke him down like to nothing. But you know what? He's built them back up. Marquinhos responded to that.
Yeah.
I know that because I've been on the boards on his thread, and there is a lot of hate for the coach still. They're like, yeah, he's proving him wrong. I'm like, I don't know if he's proving him wrong or maybe he just pushed the right buttons.
Yeah, he lit a fire under his ass. You would think that the coach would understand how to get to Mexicans after he provoked them in the World Cup in 2014.
That's a good point.
Hey,
that's a really good point.
Maybe this is how I need to get to these guys.
And also the way the team is, not just him, the whole team as a whole is playing really well. They're really high up in the table. So I mean, sometimes it's kind of funny just how knee jerky and just some of the assumptions that people make when with the coaches making their decisions. Sometimes our guys just aren't playing good enough to be on the field, and the competition on some of these teams it's going to be fierce.
Yep. Well, hopefully Marco at least gets some minutes in the. I think that he would definitely, he's going to have no shortage of weapons that are available to him. Marco.
Is there a particular formation that suits him the best?
I think that he honestly would probably play where Giovanni would play. His best given the opportunity to roam. I think that he needs like the formation that Ronnie was talking about earlier, where Demo could go from side to side and just have the complete and utter independence to do whatever he thought that was prudent at the time. That's why I think where Marco and Giovanni both need to play. But it's not just Marco. I mean, he's going to have Lozano available. He's going to have Tecatito. Mendes if he doesn't play, if he doesn't start. And then, or Vela if he doesn't start, for Mexico fans, that's the one thing in the back of their mind to say, hey, you know what? Every time we go to Columbus.
And in the midfield, too. I mean, Jonathan and Herrera, if he's on top of his game.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan he can control the game just as well as anybody in the world. Practice sometimes he's a very talented midfielder, and question that if he's so this is a very strong team. This is every time Mexico goes, at least the past on the Columbus, they've been in complete disarray, and I don't think that that's the case this time around. I mean, we
barring
obviously what happened this summer. But I think that there's a newfound I want to say harmony, but it seems like the players why can't we win this game? It's not like it's not like we're playing Brazil 70 here. I mean
yes,
we're playing,
was it one of the callers who had mentioned or one of you guys who had mentioned that he had lost the locker room? I'm not totally sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that either. I think that's something that we talked about earlier, and maybe I think that was Tomas in Chicago that had mentioned that it could be.
I also believe he lost the locker room, guys. I brought it up before.
Do you think that he's been able to get it back, or do you think that this is his last? This is his last chance.
Well, this is going to be the interesting thing because, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time they've been together since that 7-0.
Right.
At least for the boat.
You're right.
And it's seems like awkward, right? It's going to be kind of awkward.
But you know what, though? This team is not going to tank it, man.
Well, I mean, you do have, like something, and I've said it a bunch of times already, you have a core group of players that they're going into their third and fourth World Cups. And they might not like Osorio's rotaciones. They might not be cool with it. And if they could get rid of him, they know if at the start of the Hex is it's the perfect time if that's going to happen.
This is also the same group of players that nearly missed out on the World Cup. They're not going to want to be in that position again. They're not going to want to be in that position again.
But that's the thing when you lose like 7-0 and there's no confidence in the coach and
but as
you don't like the
though,
rotation thing.
As players though, they have to think, I have to be loyal with whoever's here. I got to try as hard as I can with whoever's here.
But it doesn't normally. It's still we see it time and again where
aside from the 7-0, this is still a really, really talented team. Probably, arguably one of the most strongest call-ups that we've seen. And so there's a strong chance that they can pull it off. And based on interviews, it doesn't seem that Osorio's going to. I think Osorio's going to try to win.
No, Osorio wants to win. I'm saying the players they might be like, we don't like. I don't want to do all this traveling. Have a great game, and then he benches me because
I don't think that's going to be just looking at who's on that list. I think that they're looking at everybody like if you turn your shoulder, it's like, dude, if one of those guys benches you, dude, like you can't really fault anyone. They're all equally deserving. I think most of them anyway. But and I didn't really want to bring this up too much, and I don't want to dwell on it at all. But having current events with the whole election, I think there's even more pressure on the players to perform.
But keep this in mind. Going to the 2 friendlies before the Hex, how many players got injured or got out of the list?
Yes, I get it, but this is a different game, and these are different circumstances.
Well, like you said, this is the first time that they've been together since then, and maybe he's something that he addressed. I mean, we have no idea what happened. I mean, it's kind of with you that I think that there was a chance that he could have lost the locker room if he hasn't already lost it, but I think that there's also a chance that he can also get it back. Maybe his conversations with Bielsa has changed the way he thinks about national team. Maybe he understands that he needs to treat the players differently, treat the situation differently. Look at the tactics of a game differently because you don't have these players every day. You have these players once every 3 months, so you have to figure out, and you only get them for 3 or 4 practices before a game. So
he had conversations with Sir Alex Ferguson too, and he told him, when you select a team, go with the players that are going to go all out for you. It's not necessarily always the best players, but the ones that are going to go play all out for him. And that's why I felt he should have just gone. Yes.
Sir Alex was the coach of Scotland when they played in the 1986 World Cup in Mexico.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Sir
Alex.
That was like the last time they were good, right?
They came very close to qualifying. They had to beat Uruguay. Scotland, oddly enough, like they've made a bunch of World Cups, but they've never advanced past the group stage. And their best chance was in '86. And like in the first 30 seconds, or like the very soon after the very first whistle in the match, an Uruguayan guy came in and he put, a planchazo on the Scott, got a straight red like 15 seconds into the match. Just boom. Scotland just could never figure out how to play with the man, and they ended up tying 0-0. It knocked the Scots out. If they could have won the game, they would have advanced, but it knocked them out.
Man.
It was they fell for the dark arts because Uruguay could have gone. They were content with 0-0. That would have put them through, and it's exactly what they got.
I'm so jealous of them. I so wish that Mexico could adopt those things well and do it well, because the
dark arts.
Yes. Mexico sucks at doing it.
Yeah, no, it's
and all the rough play is always a result of Ultra being butt hurt And it always just comes off like this. Like, no, that's not how you do it, man.
That is true right there, Dan. When we do play dirty, it's coming from the butt hurt.
You look like a little bitch is when you do it.
Yeah, you can
I
tell
think
that it's
part of it is the region, I'll say, because we've been in a region where there hasn't been much, opposition.
But here's the thing,
like a strong opponent.
I disagree, man. I think everywhere, like, I guess Mexico and I guess North, but everyone South plays it rough.
Yeah, but that's what I'm telling you is the region, because they have more fierce competitors. The level is not that different between teams, supposed to right here, where we're not going to start hacking at, Guatemala or St. Kitts, Islas Caicos. We're not going to start giving them planchazos when,
But it doesn't matter who Mexico plays. It's not in their nature to ever play in that style.
I think
that's why I'm saying it didn't develop that way, because
I got you.
It's we got used to beating up our little brother, but if you're going up against, dudes that are bigger than you or same height, then you're gonna do whatever you can to win.
That makes sense.
So I guess
all right, gentlemen,
it's like culture. It's culture because you see Argentina, like Mascherano, grabbing people's nads and stuff like that.
That's what we need to do, man. Thumb up the butt.
Well, I don't know if we have to go that far.
Whatever
Daniel,
it takes,
this is
man.
a family show after all. I mean, come on. I know it's after midnight.
It's late, though. It's late. Yeah.
Jeez.
And I said it before, but Bobby Wood, candidate Bobby Wood, he got rustled one time and got red carded just a while ago at his club team in Germany. So he's an excellent candidate. But Alexi Lalas had a Facebook Live or a Periscope today needing to play those same tactics. So I don't know if they're listening to him or if they're having the same ideas, but they might.
Alexi Lalas, in an interview, said today that Mexico could win the World Cup if they could just get over their mental block.
Yep. That's why they got that doctor.
All right, gentlemen. Prediction time. It's time. It's time for you to put your money where your mouth is. Time to drop some cash, and see who ends up being right. So we'll do our usual $10,000 man bet like we always do here at the Dos a Cero Football Podcast, and we'll see what happens. So Joel, should I do what I did with Sergio, as head and heart, or you want to just go with head?
I'll just go with head.
Well, that sounds bad. That sounds bad. I'm sorry about that.
Just
want to show me your cucumber?
It's like, I'll just go with head, bro. Just go for it.
All right, so you're just going with the sensible. Give me the sensible decision.
With Nuggets. No, I'll stay in the camp, in the one-on-one camp. It's gonna be an empate.
Empate a uno.
Yes.
Empate a uno. Is Fernando still with us? Fernando, you still with us?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
Right, no, you. Well, usually when you leave, there's like 4 of you pop up, so I just have to make sure. Fernando, what's
my prediction?
Yes, sir.
Mexico versus USA. My prediction is going to be 2-1.
2-1. Who?
Mexico. Of course.
Wow.
Come on, man.
All right. So Fernando says, I hope somebody's writing these down. So Joel says 1-1 tie. Fernando says 2-1 Mexico. Chiquis.
I'm going to agree with
time for you to...
Kevin Rivera on the chat. 2-2. I'm going to have to agree with that, even though I think it's going to be very cold, like 30 degrees. And so it might be... Yeah, it wasn't at first. Like the other day, it wasn't that cold. But all of a sudden it dropped. And the forecast looks to be 30 degrees or a little bit higher. But it could be a 1-1, but I want to stay 2-2, just fun, exciting game.
Yeah, but 30 degrees is not that big a deal now because, I mean, we have guys that play in that, for 4 months. So it's not like it's...
Most of them are dealing with cold weather already in Europe anyway.
Yeah. So that shouldn't be. How interesting is it that that's not a factor as much anymore? But the altitude in Mexico City is.
Well, it's really not actually because it affects both teams now too for the same reason.
Well, but but that's a problem.
Yeah.
Is that for years you use the midfielders that play in Mexico City and they're running all over the field because that's what they're used to. I mean, most of the time the other guys are totally gassed. So let's take a look. So the forecast for Friday, 53-39. So it'll be in the high 40s when by kickoff. So it won't be too bad. It'll be, at least it won't be 10. So it'll be fine. It'll be comfortable. Yeah, but it won't be frigid. So, Chiquis, what numbers? What numbers say you, Chiquis?
2-2.
2-2. So you think it's going to be a tie? 2-2. The last time they tied 2-2 was when they played in Foxborough. Qualifiers. I remember that they freak goal. Mexico scored a legitimate goal, and then they scored one where Carlos Hermosillo just happened to stand in front of Case Kelly. Y'all remember this? And it bounced off him into the like into the despeje, and it bounced off him and went into the net. I repaid him by scoring an autogol in the second half, and it ended up being 2-2. No one remembers that?
Yeah.
I remember a 2-2 in Reliant Stadium that I went to about 4 years ago or something.
No, this was a bona fide qualifier that they played in Foxborough. Daniel, have you given your prediction yet, sir?
No. I'm digging the optimism, and all things considered, I think they're going to pull it off. I'm going to go with a 2-1. An impressive 2-1.
Wow. So you think you and Fernando are both thinking it's going to be okay.
I think they're going to look. I think they're going to look good, and obviously the U.S. is going to show that grit and keep it close.
We heard from Rene earlier. He said he also thinks it's going to be a draw. So, I'm don't know, and I was actually on the radio here in Austin on Sunday talking about this game, and it's one of these things until you see it happen, you just can't expect it to happen. So I think I'm going to go align myself with the other Daniel, of course. I think it's going to be 2-1, but I think the U.S. is going to win. I think that I think the Mexico plays well, and they don't embarrass themselves, and they score. But I think the U.S. gets a late winner, and they win 2-1, and it's going to be unfortunate. It's going to put a whole bunch of pressure on Osorio to get the 3 points in Panama so that he can keep his job. Now I will say this. I don't necessarily, we talk about how many minimum number of points. I think that if he loses to the U.S. and ties Panama, I think that still saves him. And only if they acquit themselves well in Columbus. If they play like dogs in Columbus and look terrible and just have no imagination, there's no motivation, no nothing, and they lose again, and then they look bad doing it, and then they or just get as awful 0-0 in Panama, then I think he's gone. But if they play a game where they need to win or tie at the end or whatever it is, and they end up losing, then I think that he'll stay.
Okay, what if Mexico gets good possession the first half, has some opportunities but can't break the bunker, and in that second half U.S. scores 1 goal, then Rafa gets a red card, or somebody gets frustrated, gets a red card.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. If they play like that, then he has to go, because then he's like what good are you, because you haven't done anything to this team that you said you were going to.
Story.
Yeah. They're tired of the establishment. They want change. So they want to.
This is crap I'm hearing.
Wrong.
Sounds like Fox News.
So anyway, yeah, right. Then like now they're the anti-establishment channel, and I'm sure. Okay, fair enough. So see it, and it's a fitting way to end our Dos a Cero football podcast. Thank you everybody for joining so late. Here, pushing 1 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone, so it's got to be late for everybody. Kevin Rivera on the chat said it's going to be 2-2. and that's interesting. So, a lot of optimism. Even despite predicting a loss, there can be an optimistic loss. So, hopefully that'll be the case. We'll find out, and of course we'll discuss it next week. Now, I'm thinking, when is the Panama game?
Panama game is like 3 days after.
Thank you, Fernando. Does anybody have a definitive date?
No.
All right, let's see if we can find one.
It's on
There's
Monday.
this magical machine that you can type information in. Answer.
I just use it to look for cat pictures, John.
That doesn't surprise me, Joel. Now I know what happened to that America shirt. I think that you've been lying to us all this time. I think that you really give it to would really give it to cat instead of a dog.
Damn, that's rough.
Has anybody found the date?
Oh, I'm supposed to look for
Still
it?
looking.
Still looking also. Medio tiempo is not very helpful.
No, November 15th.
November 15th. So that's a Tuesday. So we should probably maybe have one of our special Taco Tuesday editions of the Desacero Football Podcast.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. I think it would be a great time to strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah. So John, going with your result, Mexico loses. How do you see them doing after that then?
Well, if they lose, then he's going to have to take probably some more unnecessary risks. Not that Panama is a dangerous team, but the advantage that Panama has over Mexico is that they're just so much bigger and stronger than them off the ball. Now Mexico can defeat that, and I think that if they follow a similar game plan that they did like in Honduras and in El Salvador, where they just let the other team kind of make their own mistakes, I think that Panama is one of those teams where they can, but they can't.
I'm sorry, but I just can't believe you just said that Panama's not a hard team. They're one of the toughest teams in the region right now.
No, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, yeah, they are an extremely difficult team to beat, but you have to, Panama's a team that you can let beat themselves, is what I'm saying.
To Osorio's misfortune, he got a really bad calendar for the Hex.
He did. There's no question. He got the two toughest games right off the bat.
Yeah. And against teams that, just go all out against Mexico.
Well, everybody's going to go all out against Mexico. They just don't match up well against these particular teams.
I mean, those teams have just made it their mission to beat Mexico. And then at home, when we return home, it's Costa Rica who has learned how to play at Azteca.
Chicharito, he's my nemesis.
So, I guess we'll find out Tuesday night, and we'll have another encuesta, and we'll see about if we think that Osorio is going to stay or is he going to go. I guess you'll have to tune in next Tuesday to find out. We'll discuss, of course, this game, and we'll talk about that game, and we'll take your questions and comments on YouTube, and of course, you can call in and join us on that. And of course, you can also listen to this show and previous editions of the Dos Acero Football Podcast on iTunes, and of course, you can listen to Forrestein's Fire at the same place as well as this show Friday night. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. This has been a very entertaining show, very informative. Everyone had some very strong opinions. It's a good game for us to talk about, and hopefully, for your Mexico fan, you'll get a result. That at this point is something that we can all look forward to. No, it should be a very entertaining game, and I do think there are going to be goals on both sides. And let's see where the chips fall. Thanks for joining us.
Hello?
Audio.
Joel, do you hear me? Joel?
Now we hear you.
Yeah, I'm here.
You were cut.
So I was just yammering all that. I was just saying thank you very much for joining us, Joel.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for joining us, Joel.
Oh, thank you, John. Always a pleasure.
Just before you go, just We'll talk to you next week. Fernando, thank you very much for joining us, man. It's
always a pleasure.
I appreciate your insight and your optimism as always.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Chiquis, our technical director, thanks again for setting all this thing up.
Yeah, arriba, ahora venido.
Hey.
That's for Pern.
And Daniel out in Oceanside, thanks very much, man. Made the show very very enjoyable. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. It was fun.
So this has been the Dos a Cero Football Podcast. We thank you guys for joining us. Listen to us next week on a special Taco Tuesday edition after the match of Mexico-Panama. Of course, we won't be talking about that. We'll be talking about the Mexico-U.S. match. And we should talk about more World Cup qualifying that happens all over the world. So it should be a very entertaining couple of days for soccer fans, especially on qualifying days, because you can start watching games like at 8 in the morning and watch games all the way through in different parts of the world up until midnight. So it should be a great day for soccer. And again on Tuesday. Thank you all for listening. We'll talk to you guys next week.